Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well. I hope your day is going excellently. Welcome to a Life is Strange video, more precisely, a Life is Strange 2 video. I haven't really made too many on Life is Strange 2, and maybe the reasons for that I'm going to go into here. I think overall Life is Strange 2 has left me a bit unconvinced overall, which is a shame, but it's got me still keeping faith, because it's still a series that I love, and it's still got little bits in it which they're unmistakable Life is Strange moments that only this game series can offer, in my opinion. And yeah, I'll go into some of the reasons why I haven't enjoyed it so much.
Even point.
Just be careful out here. These people are...
It's an unusual circumstance for me, making videos like this with a camera.
Okay.
My setup's a bit, what's the best way to describe it? A bit makeshift. I'm using my phone camera, which probably isn't the best, and it's also, it's taped to the wall. So if you suddenly fall, that's the reason why. But, yeah. Let's go into this a bit. I think Faith was kind of a weird episode because it was kind of... Obviously, I'm going to start playing this. So if you haven't caught up with Life is Strange 2 at all, up to episode 4, then go away, because there are spoilers coming, and probably some for the original Life is Strange game as well. But
This guy picked me up. I was stupid to worry about him.
yeah, it was kind of a weird episode. I think all the episodes in the second game have kind of been a bit...
I completely lost track of time.
They feel like own games in their own right. They're so separate from everything else. The whole story kind of feels very... I think disjointed is a bit too unfair, but it's kind of, you know... It's a little hard to follow the narrative because everything seems very...
Trying to tell me something about this place.
structured in a way that they're trying to put across their themes as opposed to telling a proper story. That's not quite fair really, because they are telling a good story. It's just the way they're doing it is not quite... It's not quite gripping to me, at least.
I can't scratch it though.
I mean, I don't want to like completely shit on the game and say I don't like it, because I do like it. I still think it's a really good game. But in my opinion, in comparison to the first game and Before the Storm as well, it's not got that same kind of feeling about it. I think one of the big reasons why the game's a bit disjointed to me is
Not really.
you don't have returning characters very often. I know that's kind of a big thing that people have talked about and criticised the game for. It does help a lot having people you can come back to. People who you've
Thanks.
begun to know them in earlier episodes. And with this game it's kind of like you don't know anybody at the start of the episode and everybody's moved on again. And they've got little throwbacks, and things like dream sequences, which kind of... It feels like they're trying to bridge the gap because they've almost realised how much of a problem that is now. But yeah.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. It's probably not good. It's praise the Lord, Daniel, to be honest.
Poor little girl. Her cough sounds real bad.
Yeah, you get
It was nice.
the same kind of thing with like the environments as well.
People won't judge me here.
It is an extremely nice part of the game that you get to explore loads of different areas, loads of different climates, loads of different places. I think that's one of the big things they set out to do with this game. I've obviously heard about the developers going on the road trip around
Where are you, Daniel?
northwest US, all the way down south, I think they did. Might be wrong. But they must have been inspired to like really show everyone what it's like moving down
Must be more kids here.
the West Coast, which is really nice. It's
Wonder.
a really nice thing to see in a game. And the graphics are great, aren't they? They're extremely pretty. And that's always going to be a plus for this game series, but it's kind of...
It's so weird to picture Daniel out here.
You miss the familiarity of the places where, say in the first game, you'd be around campus and around Arcadia Bay and things like that. And here, you're kind of moving on all the time. There's no familiarity at all, and the same could be said about characters.
Nevada's like
And that to me is
giant
just
slaughter.
one negative point. But yeah,
This place seems different.
I think it makes quite a big
Doing around
impact.
except going to church.
It kind of gives you something to build on, and then you kind of move forward in future episodes, and because you're in the same place, there's a lot more memories attached to it.
Feels
I've noticed a few people playing through it, and
like
some of the gamers I've watched doing gameplays, they don't remember so much of what's happened before, and maybe that's a part of that as well. And maybe it's the long release dates, or the long period of time between release dates for episodes. I think, yeah, it just comes down to individual things like that, and there's a lot of them.
did Jacob really?
And they all kind of come together and make the whole experience of the game not quite
Smells like
it's not quite what you'd
bacon
want.
and bread in there.
Okay, instead of wandering around aimlessly in circles, I'm actually going to do something now.
The church is probably the best place to look for him.
Probably, unfortunately.
Oh, feel that cold air. Thank God.
I loved the ukulele playing in the background, by the way. It's stopped now. Donate, no. Partially because I know what's
Wonder
going to
if
happen.
Steven would like this place.
So yeah, I don't really want to make a video which is like completely negative about the game and say I hate this, because
Better
ultimately I do love it
don't
still.
scare Daniel.
And I guess by making this, all I want is for the game to improve in the future, because I'm hoping they'll make more games. I think that'll be a big thing if they do make another game soon, what kind of game it is and what they've learnt from Life is Strange 2. Another thing that I think about with the lack of returning characters is that the only two constant characters that you have the entire time, pretty much, are Sean and Daniel.
Cute.
And I think that puts a lot of the focus on the game, on them, and on their relationship. So if you're not too happy with them, for one reason or another, if you don't quite like either the characters or the way they act around each other, or for me it's kind of more how certain choices impact both of them.
Could have been nice to go to church.
I feel like they're trying to play the whole like
Like if
be a good big brother thing, and it's based on really silly choices all of a sudden, how much Daniel has respect for you and things like that.
hey, it's
So yeah, if it puts a lot of focus and a lot of strain on their relationship, which maybe isn't such a good thing. And yeah, again, it comes down to returning characters. I'm not going to go up there yet. I just realised it's a cutscene, isn't it? To awkwardly peer around the corner.
In trouble. We
Hello,
are in trouble.
it's my brother, the angel here.
So I'm not the only one. Amen to that.
Mm.
We are surrounded by false idols.
I love how they add little things like that just to make it awkward. Gotta love this poster.
Wait. No way. The angel Daniel? Oh, shit.
This is the first thing I saw when I played this through the first time when I walked in. So okay, gives you a good impression of what's happening. The title of this video is totally a pun, by the way, in case you were wondering. So another thing for me is how much of a shock impact each episode has.
Is faith.
I don't know if that's something to do with
Remember Luke 18:20.
a lot of the big events that seem to happen in episodes are to do with Daniel's power and telekinesis. If you look at the end of episode 3, episode 2 technically as well,
Can you cross
episode 1 pretty much.
to salvation?
I mean, they all involve him basically getting angry
Brothers
and blowing up a room in bigger proportions each episode.
you are not like
And yeah, I mean, there's things leading up to that which cause it to happen, but it's still,
so I never
it seems a bit predictable, and it's not so shocking each time because you can kind of guess where it's going, that by the end of the episode something big's going to need to happen with his power.
spoke to me.
Um,
Me that you
when I was first watching this scene, it threw me off a little bit, to say the least.
do you have faith in me? Then
Voice
please
acting's so ridiculous.
welcome our newest member and our latest miracle, the angel Daniel.
Yeah, with the power, it's a weird one as well. I guess we're in unknown territory because we haven't had telekinesis in the game before. Not really, not like this. But if you compare it to time travel, there's a lot more things that can happen with time travel and a lot more like wow moments. And I think as well, playing as Sean not having the power takes away a little bit.
God,
It's only a part of it because before Storm didn't have any powers with the playable character, and that was still
to
a
deliver
really fun game to play,
to guide us from the
for
wilderness
me at least.
to our destiny. Now Daniel will reveal the true power of the Lord.
Yeah, I think I kind of feel like some of the plot points, a lot of them actually are kind of a bit forced and a bit, when they're trying to address certain themes, really important themes, which they should be applauded for going after. Like, they're really going after racism as one big theme, and I really respect them for doing that. And I think it's important that things like that have a place in video games like this. And looks like Michelle Go. I think he puts himself in each game. But yeah. This scene was perfect, really, because it's like this last bit with Sean. So he just sits down like, oh my god, it was exactly how I was feeling.
Now we have a voice, a messenger. Our flock keeps growing.
But yeah, they don't really have
More,
so much
more new faces.
subtlety in the way they address racism, like with the scene in the desert with, what's his name, Chad.
Bear witness
That wasn't
to
subtle at
this
all,
miracle.
and
Thank
I don't know, it kind of felt like,
you for coming. And God bless all of you.
it felt a bit obvious that something like that might happen, and it felt, the way he kind of pushed it and the things he was saying, like there are parts of it where his friend was kind of like trying to, he was in a weird position, and I quite like that because he was kind of not so happy that his friend Chad was being racist, but he wasn't stopping him. And I think that kind of shows it's the case for a lot of people in the world where they see stuff like that happening, but they don't purposefully go out their way to kind of interact and stop it from happening. But yeah. And sticking with Sean, for a few different decisions he's made I've not been too happy with throughout the whole game, and that, I mean, that's kind of to be expected when you're playing as a character, but I still feel like some of them are just a bit kind of dumb for my liking.
Hi.
I saw you
Without being
in the
too
parking
rude.
lot earlier.
Yep, that was me.
I like to be here too. We can see the whole room, and it's where a Reverend Mother teaches us classes.
Whoa. You okay?
But yeah,
Water?
I mean, decisions like when he was,
Sorry, I'm just kind of sick.
I mean, when he got the one right at the start where he's running away from the police, I'm not entirely sure that's the best thing he could be doing. I mean, trying to accept that the whole reality of the situation on the road is kind of very unrealistic as well.
Well, that's a long.
But then he does things like,
Okay. My name is Sarah Lee.
I think it's more that he says things sometimes which are out of your control. Like, you have choices to say
Did you
things,
get that letter from
but they don't seem to matter a huge amount. They're quite similar a lot of the time.
Yes,
And then he says things which really annoy you
from California.
by himself, of his own accord. Like, he might be really aggressive,
You
or just a
are
bit rude sometimes, like towards Karen,
He's
towards
always talking about
Agent
you.
Flores at the start.
Not too loud.
So you don't get much control over that
Daniel's brother.
side of him, which is a bit of a shame.
The
But
Reverend Mother says we always have.
that doesn't always make a bad game,
What do you need?
but I don't think it helps this particular series. Who is your
Who
Reverend?
is this Reverend?
You don't know her? That's
Well-
my mother, Lisbeth. She was blessed by the hand of God when she was my age. She can't ever.
Hand of God.
The Lord guides her.
Just makes me think of Diego Maradona. She's blessed by Diego Maradona's hand.
What is Daniel
So yeah,
doing?
He's our miracle. And the Lord brought him right to our Reverend Mother.
there's still really good moments.
He's really kind and funny. We play
And-
together all the time.
I still like a lot of the character interactions when they do happen. I mean, with this episode, I think the strongest parts were probably with Jacob and with Karen. But
Oh, can you take me to Daniel?
Oh, yes. He's gonna be so
there's some really nice conversations around
He missed you so much for his birthday.
around why Karen left and things like that, and with Jacob and his whole situation at Haven Point, and yeah, there's some really nice moments. They kind of lose impact again because you don't know the characters so well. It feels like you're being introduced to a character. Here's a set of problems and move on. It's a very like structured thing.
Proof of their faith
But,
and mine. I know you understand.
I guess. I mean,
yeah, there's little moments which I really like still, and which can only really happen in this game. Because I feel like the way they develop characters and the way
You've grown up.
they portray characters is really unique and really detailed.
what happened to your eye?
Don't worry. It's okay.
Did that happen at the farm? Because of
Mhm.
me?
Mhm.
So sorry. I'm sorry.
It does get to me a bit how he is sorry, but
It's over, Daniel. We just
he needs to learn more than anything not to do that kind of thing, and it's hard to
No,
tell if he has learned that or not.
not as much as your haircut.
Shut up.
I think that's a really important thing you should be having here, but they've skipped over it completely.
Sean,
This woman in the background, where is she?
nothing I could do. I was so
She is basically pure evil.
I even thought you were dead. And
It's okay. We're together now.
yes. So, are you gonna stay with us now? Huh?
We still need to go to Port.
I was trying to play along at this point with when Elizabeth comes
You
in.
don't need to.
She's like, you can stay with us, and I was like, sure, I can stay with you. We'll be happy.
Time,
And then it escalated very quickly anyway.
Chance to process this. I'm sure this is all
That was a bit weird as well, because like
overwhelming. By the way, my name is Lisbeth.
it's another big thing that happens that's completely out of your control
Safe return.
when Elizabeth just gets in your way, and
You must be a
It's not really a
believer
push,
in
is
our
it?
Lord too.
it's a bit of a dive. But
Kinda.
Daniel
how it is, I
told
guess.
me you had faith. That's how you.
there's one more episode left of Life is Strange 2 now, and I'm looking forward to it. And
To grab the medicine kit, we have to take care of our new guest. This is.
I think at this point, having had 4 episodes, you kind of take it as it is. You know
Do it later.
pretty much what
I
you're going to
wanna talk to him
expect. So
Daniel? Now.
I'm hoping, I'm hoping the opening shot of the next episode is with the wall, and Daniel just goes
Well,
telekinesis, wall
pleasure to
gone.
meet you.
But
This is a real blessing today. You were away from
it'll be
home
interesting to see what they do.
a while.
I wasn't a
I
good.
don't have super high expectations for it,
I wasn't.
but I'm
judging.
still excited for it. I'm still looking forward to it a
So
lot.
what is your plan, Sean?
I think overall it's a game that's really to be commended for what it's trying to
And it
do.
would be good
And I still love the series a lot.
by his side. You should know that the Lord has.
I don't want to make this video too long, it's probably gone too long already. See what happens if we go stay here.
I could stay here for a while.
You know, I am impressed by your drive.
Oh yeah, I remember now.
But small is the gate and narrow the way. I know about that poor
Jump
man
cut.
you beat down back in Washington.
It's all lies, it's all
This
lies.
is a terrible sin, and until you make
Wasn't
penance
really
for
that
it,
time. Hank
I
deserved it.
can't accept you here.
But no matter what, they always find
Are
one
you
reason
serious?
for you to,
I'm sorry, my son.
I'm not your son.
for her to be angry at you.
And Daniel isn't gonna be your golden cow. Daniel!
See, he gets angry very
Why
quickly.
don't we ask him?
She initiated contact,
Do not touch me!
and that was a dive. How she makes herself bleed, I don't know.
What did you do?
Nothing.
Enough. You spilled blood in the Lord's holy.
Sean!
Can we get VAR on that, please?
Your brother came in here
Because I think you'll find that he died.
acting like a criminal. But he
Robe's gone mad the whole episode as well.
I'm sorry, Sean. He's right. I will pray for you.
Oh gosh, now
Ben.
we've got Nicholas
When you're ready, we can.
creeping
She's
about in
trying
the
to
background.
manipulate you.
let me lead you to the one true light that never.
She's trying to manipulate. It's just the most manipulating thing
You're
possible.
crazy. Let's get out of here, Daniel.
I want to stay. Just go.
There's your answer, Sean.
We're together again. So we can go, right?
Come on.
Get off me, dude. What? Daniel! Let me go, asshole!
This bit's quite powerful, to be fair.
Daniel! They're not your family!
Stop it.
You just need to have faith. We'll be waiting.
Daniel!
It's okay,
Sean.
Sean.
Daniel!
There you go. Satisfied? Now don't you ever come back!
It's got a bark on him, I'll give you that. This is a bit of a weird choice too, because get up to me just means stand up, but the fact that
Come on, kid. Don't make me do this. You're not gonna win.
punched in the eye for about how many times this episode does that happen?
Daniel! Daniel!
You're pissing me off. This is private property. I have a legal right to stop any intruders.
Such a dick.
I just want my brother.
But he doesn't want you. He was brought here, and this is where he's staying. Next time, I will not hesitate to use this.
That's probably one of the best bits of the episode.
Get out of here.
Pulling the gun though is really not a
Hey!
strong-minded thing to do.
Daniel!
Sean.
And then Karen appears out of nowhere.
You won't get him back like this. Let's go.
And there we go. So yeah, I think I'll call it there. I hope you've enjoyed watching. I feel like with some of my videos it is difficult because I feel like I'm talking into a bit of a void sometimes. I don't always get so much feedback on what I do. So hopefully, if you're watching this, you're enjoying it. And yeah,
Sean, what happened to your eye?
and ultimately the takeaway message is
Why the hell?
I still love the game and I'd love it to be even better.
How did you find me?
And I hope they can improve maybe see what's not been so good about Life is Strange 2 and use that to make better games in the future, because
And that Daniel needed help.
I really want them to. I think
Believed him.
I think they're probably my favourite series. It's either this or Telltale's The Walking Dead,
Sooner
which is no
or later.
Skybound.
We're gonna have to talk.
But yeah.
Where are we even going?
I already have a hotel room. You're gonna need to rest.
So yeah,
And clean that dress.
thank you very much for watching. I'd really appreciate it if you could leave me some feedback. And I shall see you again soon. Thank you.